You only have one life to live. And at the end of the day, I want you to make sure that the rest of your life is the best of your life. But I know a lot of people that is currently riding the struggle bus. So hopefully this can just wake you up and help you shift your mindset. One of my biggest fears is, let's just say, when I die, okay? And let's say, I'm fortunate enough to make it to heaven and God is like, hey, Joe, how was it down there, man? And I was like, oh, man, it was great. I got to start my own business. I got to, spend a bunch of quality, family time and get to do this and inspire all these people. Like, it was awesome. And God's like, oh man, Joe, like I'm great. It's awesome. So glad you had a great time. Hey, come over here for a second. So God takes me to, let's say, like, I don't know, at a movie theater or something like that. And let's just say it's on the big screen and it says, the life of Joe Callari on the screen. And I'm sitting there with God, right? Having some popcorn, having like a slushie or something like that. And I'm watching this movie, and let's just say it was like this big, amazing movie of all these things as to what I was supposed to do. But I never actually did. Because maybe I was too comfortable in my own comfort zone. Maybe I was too scared to take certain risks. Maybe I was like living my life in, scarcity model, right? And it's like, I don't want to do this because of the what ifs and the unknowns, right? So I get to see this big, huge, movie portray of my amazing life that I never actually got to witness and got to, imagine on my own. That is my biggest fear. And at the end of the day, I always look back in terms of like, okay, if that's my biggest fear, how can I reverse engineer, right, to where we are today in my 30s to where that doesn't happen? And it's by giving me a sense of direction, a daily mission, I like to say, where every single day I'm reminding myself of not just that fear, but also of like, hey, what's on the opposite side of fear? A lot of people out there, they're very fearful and, they're afraid to fail. But you got to understand this, right? The word fail is first act in learning, and a lot of people, they don't want to go through that because it's painful, But here's the thing also about pain. We all suffer from pain. There's two different pains out there. There's the pain of discipline, and then there's the pain of regret. And if you're somebody that, let's just say, you're overweight, you're struggling with high blood pressure, maybe type 2 diabetes, your kids are following through in your footsteps, you might be, having the pain of regret because you never took action to actually do something about, changing your life and, making a commitment to create better habits. And now your kids are suffering as well. So you might be suffering with that, but hear me out. Right, the difference between the two, right? The discipline and obviously the regret is that, discipline, the pain of that weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. There is nothing more painful than that. And I'm sure in life, as you're watching this right now, there's probably a numerous of things. I know on my behalf, right? There's numerous of things that, I regret, and it's painful. And it's like, oh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have took action. I wish I would have done this. And the reality is I can't do anything about it now. Time has already passed, And that's why I always say is like, time's your most precious commodity that's out there. You can't make more of it. And you can't, get back the ones that you missed in terms of that time that you wish you can go back and change things. It doesn't work that way. So a thing that I want you to be reminded of, right, is once again, like, what is your biggest fear? And then kind of dissect that to say like, okay, hey, if this is my biggest fear, like with me, for example, it's like, hey, I don't want to see on the big screen of the, Joe Callari life of this amazingness that I never got to witness because I was too afraid to go after my goals, too afraid to step out of my comfort zone. I then reverse engineer. And I recommend that you do the same. So it's like, think about that. What is it that's out there? And then what's on the other side of that fear? Maybe it's your goals, Maybe it's actually somewhere where you're trying to really get to, because if you think about it, every single day, you have a choice to make. That's the reality. And we're going to talk about what can make that choice a little bit easier for you here at the end of this video. But it's like you have a decision to make. I can either, stay the same and live my life inside my comfort zone, or I can take that step. and I can actually do something about this. And maybe that involves, working out harder, or, trying to hit my protein goal and my macros, and, trying to get better sleep and improve my health. Maybe it's, other things of like, hey, maybe you want to start a business. So you decide to read some books on, entrepreneurs and everything like this. Or maybe it's decided to take some courses, whatever the case may be. But it's like you have to have that one-on-one, face-to-face check with yourself. That every single day you have a decision that you need to make. Who are you going to feed? Is it the good wolf that wants you to take that leap outside your comfort zone? Or is it the bad wolf that's constantly telling you the lies and constantly making you feel like, man, I'm regretting my life over and over and over again because I'm here today because I've been feeding that thing a lot more than feeding the good wolf. And I know a lot of people suffer with that. And they continue to suffer with it because they never have these one-on-one accountability checks with themselves. That, once again, I'm going to go over here in a little bit. And the reality is, like, you can constantly live your life and make up excuses. But, I don't have time, and, I'm too tired, and, it's too hard. The reality is like this. It's nothing but an excuse. And that has got you the life that you're currently living today, which is, hey, a life full of probably excuses. And as a man, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're making up excuses, if maybe in terms of going after your goals and what's kind of stopping you, and, I'm too tired to work out, and, it's too hard, and once again, excuses, odds are you're kind of be bleeding those excuses into other areas of your life as well. And you know what they say about excuses? Everybody has them and they all stink, right? They're just like buttholes. So it's like, stop making up excuses. Because if you want to know the hard truth, it's this. Whether you're trying to get in shape, that's going to be hard. Or whether you stay the same, that's going to be hard. But the reality is you get to decide and choose how hard you want it and when do you want it to be hard. I decide to, let's say, work out and track my macros and, drink plenty of water and get better sleep and get my steps in. That's hard. You got to be disciplined for that. But guess what? That makes my future a lot better. So that way, when I'm in my 50s, my 60s, my 70s, I don't have to worry about falling and breaking down my hips because I still have all my lean muscle tissue. I don't have to worry about being overweight and out of shape and having high blood pressure, high cholesterol, because guess what? I did something right now in the present moment to help me in my future. Or you can decide, hey, I'm going to choose my hard later. And so maybe that means every single day you're waking up, you're making excuses, you're being lazy, you're taking the easy route. And obviously, hey, this is a lot easy to do, but eventually it leads to a harder future. And I always look at it from, it's not just my life that I'm impacting based on these decisions, it's those around me, So let's just say my family, for example. If I decide to do what's hard today, work out and, be diligent in my macros and in shape and everything like this, it's going to lead for an easier life down the road. Guess what? Monkey see, monkey do. My son's going to follow through, right? I'm setting the path straight for him. He's going to be following in my footsteps. Or vice versa over here, where guess what? I'm sleeping in, I'm just drinking beer over on the weekends, constantly eating pizza and junk food, not caring about being active, not caring about being in shape. That's going to be a very hard life for my son because he's also going to follow through in those footsteps. And maybe that means he's going to get picked on and bullied and made fun of in school. Maybe that means when he's older, he's going to, have a hard time finding a girlfriend. Maybe that means also that he's going to be suffering with maybe depression, not liking the way that he looks, not feeling comfortable in his own skin, maybe high blood pressure, maybe even type 2 diabetes. Why? Because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So remember, it's both going to be hard. You can decide to do the hard route, make your life a lot better, easier for you down the road, not have this life full of regrets. Or you can decide to continue to be lazy, make up excuses, but you're only going to be making things harder for you at the end of the day. So really let that sink in. So this is what I want you to do as a little call to action to kind of just wake you up and most importantly, give you a game plan, in terms of like, if you do this, hey, there's going to be a greater outcome for you in terms of, taking the step outside your comfort zone and following through with feeding the good wolf. Because I'm sure it's barking and it's saying, feed me, feed me, feed me. And you've been starving it so much by making up these excuses, So it's like, start feeding the good wolf. And how do you do that? This is the best way. It is a self-accountability check. And all I want you to do is just write out on a notepad or a sticky note and you just put it on your mirror, right? In your bathroom. write why question mark. And then write down below that, what is your deep rooted why? So whatever it is that is your goals, maybe, hey, I want to get in better shape. Maybe, hey, I want to start a business. Maybe, hey, I want to, do X, Y, Z, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that your goals are, write down the reason why. And don't just have it, surface level. Oh, I want to lose weight and just write that down. Like anybody wants to lose weight, right? But it's so broad. Make it specific. Hey, I want to lose weight because, I want to lead better by example for my kids. I want to get off my medications. I want to be able to fit into my old favorite clothes. I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror and feel proud of the person that's staring back at me. It's like when you have a deep rooted why, something significant like that, you're going to be more motivated. You're going to be more disciplined to create these better habits for yourself and start showing up and stepping outside of your comfort zone. So that's all I want you to do. It's a simple exercise. Put it right there on your bathroom mirror. That way, every time you're brushing your teeth, it's a conversation that you need to have with yourself. Now, you should be brushing your teeth at least 2 times a day, right? Morning and night. So that means when you go back into, the bathroom, I want to make sure that you look at that notepad again. And just ask yourself this: did I show up today? That's it. Because if you're constantly saying, oh man, I got this sticky note right here with my why, it's a daily reminder, and you feel motivated in the morning, but then you actually don't actually do anything about it. You don't take action towards reaching your goals. And then in the evening time, you're looking at yourself and you're like, man, I didn't even show up today. How many days are you going to let that continue on in your life before something finally snaps? Something finally clicks within you and you say, okay, I got to do something about this. This is like Groundhog's Day over and over again. I'm just stuck in a rut here. And that's where you need to have a wake-up call. That's where you need to have somebody, once again, kind of shaking you up a little bit and say, dude, wake up. And if you're going through, let's say, your health and fitness journey or any kind of journey to reach your goals all by yourself, that's where it gets hard. That's where it gets difficult. I always say it like this: if you want to go in life all by yourself, hey, you can go pretty fast. But if you actually want to go far in life, go together. Have the right people in your corner supporting you, encouraging you. What's the point? I mean, we're not made to just do things alone, have this solopreneurship, right? Where it's no help, and it's just all pride, all ego, all me, right? It's like, no. Like, life is made and truly, a blessing when you get other people to enjoy it with, I know personally for myself, I'm not a big fan of receiving gifts, but I love giving gifts, right? Because I get to see the effect that it has on others. Imagine the effect that it could have on others when you start going, after your goals and start taking that steps outside of your comfort zone, and you start to truly become the best version of yourself, filling up your cup so that way you can pour more out into those that you truly love. Maybe that's more energy, maybe that's more time, maybe that's even more just positivity, something just like that. So to recap here, remember, you have one life to live. And, at the end of the day, we all suffer from 2 different types of pains. You have the pain of discipline and you have the pain of regret. The pain of discipline weighs ounces while the pain of regret weighs tons. You have a decision to make. When you wake up, you can feed the good wolf, you can feed the bad wolf, and continue to make up excuses. Regardless of the choice, it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to get in shape, but hey, you're going to have a better future. Or it's going to be, a lot easier, now in the present moment to be lazy and, sleep in and constantly make up excuses, but only a harder life down the road. And it's all about who are the lives that you're constantly affecting on that journey as well. And if you really want to, once again, take action, grab a sticky note, write down your why, a deep-rooted why, put that right on your bathroom mirror and look at it first thing in the morning when you're brushing your teeth and in the evening time as well before you go to sleep, and just have these conversations with yourself. Did I show up today? Did I truly do what I said I was going to do and take action and step outside my comfort zone? Did I? Yes or no? And hopefully you start to have a lot more yeses than you do nos. And that is where surely you're going to start seeing some massive changes happen in your life. So I really hope that you guys got a lot of value and most importantly, some inspiration from today's video. If you did, definitely give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know your biggest takeaway. And as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics Podcast. I'll talk to you next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.